So you got yourself a scooter that's not starting. Maybe it's one that's been sitting for a while. Maybe it's one that you're looking to purchase. In this episode, I'm going to go through all the simple steps that you need to take to get that scooter started. Let's get to it. So I have recently acquired this. It's a Honda DIo, and you bet it doesn't run. Some people say it is the daddy of all Japanese scooters, and that is simply because there are so many aftermarket parts suppliers out there. They are so easy to modify. Obviously not this guy here. He has been sitting for a really long time, and I picked it up for an absolute bargain because the seller couldn't get it running and had given up on it. So in this episode, we're going to try and get it going. Let's get into it. What is typically the case when I get these bikes is usually two things. They have a dead battery, and the fuel, if there's any fuel in it at all, it's usually stale. But there's one other trick that's got me many times before, and I thought I'd just share it with you. Make sure the kill switch is set to the on position. This has stung me quite a few times. So it is ready to go. Here we turn the ignition on and we give it a couple of kicks. All right, so nothing yet, not even a cough, not even a fart. All right, so this is where most people give up on these things. They kick it 10, 15, 20, 40, 50, 100 times, and the bike doesn't start. Now, it's usually because they're not mechanically inclined, and the thought of pulling something apart and putting it back together is beyond them. But what should we do? Let's pull the airbox off, and let's give it a spray of ether, and then hopefully that will get it started. So what is pretty typical is, like this bike here, the air filter is blocked and it's incredibly filthy. But I don't necessarily believe that is the only reason why it's not starting. To be quite honest, it's more likely stale fuel in the carburetor that's blocked the jets and stopping fuel getting into the cylinder. So how do we get around that? So I usually use this stuff here. It's Aerostart. There's another brand called Start Your Bastard and a whole host of other products out there too. What you want to do is crack the throttle open and spray this stuff in. And now it's time to give it a kick. So pull the brake and fingers crossed. And like that, she started. All right, I hear it ran, but it didn't run for very long. And that's simply because it ran out of fuel. The ether that I sprayed in there, it consumed, and there was nothing left to burn. That means that the carburetor is blocked or the jets are blocked. And if that's the case and it keeps happening, you're gonna have to pull the carburetor off, disassemble it, remember how it all goes back together, and clean it out. All right, so they say you need three things to get an engine to run, and that is fuel, air, and spark. But I'm gonna argue that because that's not necessarily true. There is one other more important element, and that's compression. Now, because it ran with the ether spray, that means the only thing that's missing from this recipe of excellence is fuel. And that means the carburetor jets are blocked. So to fix that, we're gonna have to pull the carburetor out, strip it apart. You can either A, put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, or B, try and remount the jets. So let's try that.
What you see me doing here is cleaning out the carburetor jet. Now I'm using a carburetor jet clean tool that you can get off Amazon for as little as $12, or a more complete set will set you back about $20. They're basically little files that you push through the needle to clear the blockage. Don't forget to push the needle through the little atomizer holes in the side, as they can be blocked as well, and they will greatly affect the way the bike runs. Once it's all done, hold it up to the light to ensure that it is absolutely clear.
There is one extra step that you could do in this. You could put the carburetor through an ultrasonic cleaner. Now, I've never had success in cleaning a block jet in the ultrasonic cleaner. It does clean the carburetor very well, but generally speaking, they don't unblock the jets. But now the bike's all put back together, we're going to try and give it a bit of a kick. Now, I always give it a bit of ether to get it going. This is enough to get the bike started, create vacuum, and pull fuel through the petcock to fill the carb. So let's have a go. This is generally the first go. All right, ignition on, kill switch off. And let's see how we go. All right, so it is running. Now we're going to take it for its first actual ride.
In this case, the reason the bike wouldn't start was because of blocked jets and lack of fuel. But assuming your jets are clean and you're getting fuel, the other reason it might not be starting is no spark. If you've got no spark, change the spark plug, inspect the leads, maybe pull the flywheel, inspect for rust, and double check the pickup. And if all else fails, go over your wiring, ensure all earths are connected and everything is plugged in.
I'll see you on the next one. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.